Hello everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome back to my December daily for 2022. It's been a little bit since I've had a process video up. Sorry about that. Today I'm going to be working on days 5 and 6. So day 5 is all about Santa. So Santa letters that the kids wrote / drew a picture as Barrett did. And then also when we went to go visit Santa at the mall, which was a huge thing because we haven't done that since COVID. Really, really fun thing. And there's a really cute story behind Santa photo this year as well, because Nora decided that instead of letting Santa know what she wanted for Christmas, she just asked him if they could do mean faces. And Santa obliged, and I had to, of course, pick that photo, not the one of them all smiling, being cute. Had to do the one that she requested because it's just so funny. And it marks where she is right now, I guess, with her age and all that. And I knew that if I had picked the photo where they were all smiling and everything was good, that I just wouldn't remember it the same. So I love it. So that's what this one is. You can see me trying to figure it out there. I'm trying to decide where my photo needs to go with using the back of this really fun cut file that is from Confessions of a Paper Addict, and it is called Letters to Santa. I created this last year, had really great plans to use it last year, but my album was way too thick, so I had to edit it out. And it was fine. I just really made sure that I got it used right away this year so that now it's in. And this was perfect for it because my kids actually wrote letters this year. Last year, I don't even think they wrote letters. So worked perfectly. I'm using one of the transparencies from this year's December Daily Kit from Allie Edwards in there as well because it has the really fun Santas along with one of the Project Life cards. And then all I ended up doing was taking photos of each one of the kids' letters. I just laid it on a piece of white poster board, snapped my photo, and then trimmed it to fit. And I'm going to use that so that the copies of the photos are here. But of course, the letters and the drawings themselves, of course, went to Santa. So I needed a copy of it. And the kids love this because now they can look and remember what they asked for as well. And then I'm going to add one of the Canvas word phrases, again from the Allie Edwards December Daily, and I'm going to add that. I'm following her along with that, adding that little red stitch to it as well. I love how that looks. And then they all just fit snugly into that little mailbox, which I love. Now, the other side that you can see, I'm kind of working backwards, but this other side is the 3 photos of each one of the kids writing their letters. And I had to add one of the puffy stickers on covering up the word 20 or the number 2022. Wasn't really worried about that because this is in my 2022 album. So obviously we kind of have that figured out. But I loved having just that little Santa there. Again, just a little nod. I will end up taking the foam sticker off the back of it so that I'm reducing the bulk just a little bit. And I love that. Just that little touch to there. I will also go around with some gold washi tape and kind of like seal it in because the front side, of course, was from day 4 and there was a lot going on and you can kind of see some of the stuff. And I just didn't want to see any of the stuff because I believe that one was outside the page protector, if I'm not mistaken. So just adding some of the gold washi tape really helped put that all together. I'll add my number 5. I have this really huge one that worked perfectly. And then the transparency and a card that I'm going to actually finally do some handwritten journaling because most things have been typed about the funny mean face request from Nora, which is super fun. So here I am talking about that gold washi. I wasn't sure that I recorded it, but yeah, so you can see the backside of day 4 and I just didn't want that. So it's one strip on all 3 sides except for the one closest to the where it actually goes in the album. I do 2 strips because it needed it, but when you look at the album, like when it's in, you can't even tell. It doesn't deflect from anything, and it just adds just another little layer, which is nice because this is quite a simple spread. Obviously I created it in Canva, and so it was just adding the photos and typing out my story and printing it. So there's not a lot to it. It's a very hybrid layout. but I like to add a little bit of outside, not digital to it. And that was kind of just the perfect way to get that done. So I think that does it for day 5. It was quick. Thankfully, it was pretty easy just figuring out what needed to be done. I think the longest part was getting that photo centered and writing out my journaling. I'm going to add the number 5 and a little embellishing to the transparency. So again, you can tell that it's a spread of all of it together versus just being a whole separate story. So I just add the 5 again so you're aware of that. And yeah, that does it for day 5. So let's move on to day 6, which is going to be a bit of a walkthrough with you. So let's get started with that. So for day 6, I am doing the Day of Color, which is Holly's great idea. She's Canva she changed her Instagram thing since last year. She's Canva creator or something like that over on Instagram. I'll make sure that it pops up there. Anyways, so she has hosted Day of Color. I think this is her 3rd or 4th year doing it. And this year, instead of telling us what color, she just said, you pick your color and document. So I went with the color white. And I love this. And then I saw this gorgeous spread from Denine. And I have been following everything she's been doing this year. It's been amazing. Like, I just love her spreads. And she did one where she was using the plastic stars from this year's kit. And I'm like, yep, that is what I'm doing. However, I wanted mine to be contained. And so in order to do that, I thought that I could add the number 6 with this transparency, like you can see me working here, and do a little flip so that everything, like my number 6 on this transparency is going to flip over my journaling and this star creation that you're going to see me do on a piece of just like transparent plastic type stuff. And so this is how I was able to do, like, it's called being a translator of ideas. That's what Allie calls it. So you see something that you really like on Instagram that you want to copy and even scrap lift almost to a T, but you still want a little bit of you in there because you're the one creating it, right? Or maybe something that they did isn't really your style or doesn't work for you. And this was how I was able to do that for me. I am making my little flip. You can see that I've used washi tape and red line adhesive. I just need it to be very small and subtle because it's a transparency, so I have to be careful with what I'm doing here. And I wanted to add this big felt 6 from last year's December daily. And in order to do all of that, right, I needed to make it a little bit different than what Denine had done. So I've got this part done. I know what's happening. I'm going to add washi in the middle as well so that it's covering up my flip. Plus, because of the fact it's gold, it's not taking away from too much. And it just looks really nice and subtle. I'm going to trim it and not fold it over because, again, transparency, you're going to see what's happening. So I now have all that done. I'm going to place my 6 down. I will use some red line tape to cut that down. To glue that down, and you're going to see that in the back, but I'm not worried about that. My next step is to figure out, when I fold this over, do I have to have it a 6x8 as well so that it will fold perfectly? Do I have to have it smaller? So the best way for me to figure that out was, as you saw, I just placed it into the album and marked it and then cut it. So now I know it's perfectly going to fit. I can fold that over. It's all good. The next step is figuring out these stars. And now this took me a hot minute because I already have plans for stars on 2 other spreads that I had already pulled the stars I wanted to use. But what I had left over, I couldn't make work visually for me. So I had to pull in from the other ones and kind of rotate and flip things around so that I was really happy because this is the first one I'm actually doing and putting in my album. And so it took me a minute sorting everything out, making sure all the colors are where I want them to be and all of that. I relied heavily on just making sure that to me it looked aesthetically pleasing. Now it might not work for you, like the way I added them all up might not work for you, but I was happy with it. I also had to make them work with my photos And I knew that I wanted some of the stars to be on the front and some of the stars to be on the back because it's two-sided, right? It's a piece of plastic. So what's on the back, you're going to see as well. Plus I have 3 more photos because I did this for day 6 so that I could literally have the 6 different photos. So this all takes a minute. This was the longest part of the whole thing, was figuring it out. And then you're going to see me punch a bunch of holes and I'm going to stitch it in red. Now this is all the part where I'm scrap lifting from the idea that I saw. And I really love it. It was fun, but it did take a minute, and the stitching through the plastic stars plus the transparency was a bit tricky. So if this is something you are interested in and you haven't attempted it yet, all I can say is make sure that whatever type of thing you're using to punch your holes, that it's thick enough to actually go through so that when your needle goes through, it doesn't get stuck. Because I'll let you know, I broke a needle doing this, and I was hand stitching. I don't think I've ever broken a needle hand stitching before, but I did because I didn't give myself enough wiggle room to get it through. All right, now let me talk about my photos quickly while we wrap this part of it up. I chose white for my day of color. I did my Starbucks coffee cup, happened to be the one with the white with the little icons on it, which I loved. So definitely had to take a photo of that. I'll have a separate coffee story anyways, but I just loved that. I got a brand new jacket, like a really heavy winter jacket, and a new toque this year. Both of them have some white, so my jacket has like this white fox fur thing around the outside of it. And then my little pom-pom on my hat is also white, and I had noticed that. So I took I had taken a selfie of myself, but I thought that was a great way of showing that off. I got myself a new blanket this year, a new winter blanket, and it's also white with these little cute green Christmas trees, but the base of it was white, so that was really fun. And then I think on the backside, I have a candle I get a candle every season from Bath and Body Works so that my house smells like the season. This year I chose the sugar cookie one, which happened to, of course, be white, which was perfect. We had a ton of snow before December hit this year, which was crazy. And so I took a photo out in we live on a blueberry farm. And I took a photo out looking over the farm, and then we have mountains in the background. So I just took a photo of that with the crisp whiteness where no one had walked. It's so pretty. And finally, I think, we have our star on the top of our Christmas tree that Sean picked out last year, which also happens to be white. And it's just very pretty. And it was neat to see how much white I actually have in my house. Like, I have 3 kids, so you wouldn't think that I have a lot of white, but I tended to find that I'm apparently drawn to that crisp and cleanness color, right, that it brings. And so it was really neat to document kind of like the non-color of Christmas for me. And that's kind of what I went ahead and did with this day and all about it. So there we have it. All that stitching is done. I've done my journaling. All the hard work's done. I'm just going to add a couple things. So I'm adding a little tab here that says noted in gold, so that the fact that there's gold washi in the middle isn't being lost. There's also gold kind of framed around one of the stars, so now I have a visual triangle of it. And then I'm just numbering each one of these photos, again with these gold puffy stickers, and I'll add a little phrase sticker to each one as well, so it kind of nods to what it is. Again, it just kind of brings in that little touch of gold so that washi is okay. You can see the tape like I talked about. I used red line. You can see it on that 6 on the back. I don't care. It's fine. Most people aren't going to look at that and be like, oh, why can you see the tape? No one's going to care. I'm the only one that's going to care, and I don't even care. So it's fine. I'm just leaving it. If it bothered you, you could add a piece of, I don't know, you could cut another 6 and add it with tissue paper or pattern paper or something to make it work for you. But remember, doing that will add more bulk to what could possibly already be a bulky album like it is for me. So I chose to just leave it. Okay, so I've done all of that. I handwritten out my journaling, which was fun because I hadn't, other than just the one right for day 5, I hadn't done any handwriting. I do like to have that represented, so I went ahead and did that. And I think we've done it. We got through it. So this was the hardest one I've done so far. And I don't mean hard like it was hard to do. It was just time consuming. But I really love it. And it's probably my favorite spread so far. So it was fun. I love being inspired by what other people do. And Denine has made just the most beautiful, beautiful spreads this year. And I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. I'm horrible with that as well, but I really couldn't wait to share this. And this is as far as I've gotten. So it is the 16th today, and I'm only up to day 6. So I hope to get some more pictures printed, and I hope to start working on some more. It's the last day of school for the kids for the season, and yeah, I can't wait to stay home for a little bit and do some crafting. So hopefully we get to do that, and I'll have more to share with the rest of December. We will see how it all goes, but there you have it. I'm just going to put it into my album, show you what it looks like all done. Thanks so much for sticking through this with me. This one's been a bit of a longer one because I had some explaining to do. So I appreciate it, and I hope you all have a fabulous Friday, a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye, everyone.